Hey everyone, welcome back to the 10th season of 99.6. The Howl. Utah loses 2-1 in the season opener to the Colorado Avalanche. A lot of good things in this game. I think even though it was a loss, there's a lot of positives to build on, and I'm not too down on this loss. Yes, you're facing one of the elite teams in the league in the Central Division, and unfortunately, Utah comes out short, losing 2-1 in regulation. Let's talk about the lines on returning, going with his patented 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. Barrett Hayden, he's been in and out of practice pretty much this whole week, but he was part of the morning skate in a regular contact jersey, but he did not play. So then they promoted McBain to first line center with Keller and Schmaltz. I don't think I've ever seen that before. The second line, this newly created young gun line of Gunther, Cooley, and Peterka. Then they had Kraus, Stenlund, and Yamamoto, with Agazino and Tanev being that awkward, 10th and 11th forward pair. And then on the D side, you had Sergachev and Marino as your top pair. Schmidt and Durzi. Remember in my preview video, I'm like, do you put Schmidt with Durzi? That didn't seem right. Didn't feel right this game either. And then the third pairing was Ian Cole and Dmitry Simashev making his NHL debut. And then Oli Mata was that other awkward 7th defenseman. They were facing Wedgwood for the Avalanche, not even their starting goalie, but as it turns out, Wedgwood did a really, really good job for the Avalanche and kind of got them those 2 points. So let's get into the game. Early on, the first line, both consecutive shifts for the first line, they were buzzing. There's a nice Schmaltz to Keller chance that got denied, and then McBain a Schmaltz chance that got denied as well. Utah, whenever they would get control of the puck in their D zone, they were looking to hit a player with speed already. There is like zero chip and chase with this Utah Mammoth team, which I love to see. And you can see that's going to be their, playbook moving forward, is just gaining speed right out of your defensive zone. No more chip and chase, no more dumping it in, no more chipping it off the boards. It's like they want to gain possession, make that great first pass, that breakout pass, and then just attack with speed every line pretty much. The crowd, the Avalanche crowd, you can sense the anticipation for a goal. It was their home opener. They had their ceremony. They wanted their home team to score first, and Utah was doing everything they could to not let that happen. It was a pretty even first half of this first period. Both Avalanche and the Mammoth trading chances, but unfortunately the Avalanche get the first goal. It's a 3-on-2. They execute it perfectly. They sort of make a triangle out of the Utah Mammoth defensemen. I believe it was Schmidt and Durzi. They go horizontal and then to the point of the triangle where the 2 defensemen cannot cover him, and he one-times it into the back of the net. A bit of a miscommunication with that young gun line and the defenseman. Maybe I'll just stick to that moniker of the young gun line as an easy name for that line. After that goal to make it 1-0, there was a big save by Karel Vejmelka, as Tyson Nash loves to say, go gadget leg by Vejmelka, a sprawling leg pad save on Nathan McKinnon. About 3 minutes left in the first. There was a 3-on-1 for the Avalanche right after that chance, but they couldn't convert. And then Utah, they get a power play, 2 minutes left in the first period. They don't convert on it. They look a bit shaky. It took them like a full minute to even just gain the zone and set up in the zone of the Avalanche. The first power play unit was Keller, Schmaltz, Cooley, Gunther, with Sergachev on the point. PP2, we rarely saw them tonight against the Avalanche, but I believe it was McBain, Yamamoto, Peterka, with Durzi and Schmidt on the back end. Just a pretty bad mishmash of players, leaving Peterka all on his own, pretty much Peterka and Durzi, and they got to play with McBain and Yamamoto. But just Kerfoot's injured week to week. Barrett Hayden, where would he go if he's healthy and on the power play? Does he go to PP1 and then maybe Cooley goes to PP2? we'll look to that in the next games. But it's 1-0 Avalanche after one. The Avalanche outshot Utah 12-10. I don't think it was too bad of a period. I think the Avalanche had more of the offensive chances, more of the high danger chances than the Mammoth, but Mammoth were hanging in there. It was a road game. You're down 1-0, a lot to build on. So we go into the second period. The Avalanche had 0 shots for the first 6.5 minutes of this second. I know the broadcast kept saying like, oh, they went 15, 16 minutes with no shots, but clearly the Avalanche had a shot on their first power play in the second period. It was a nice glove save by Vejmelka from long distance from Makar, but it seemed like the broadcast just totally ignored that. But before that power play, Nick Schmaltz in the slot, uncontested. He hits the post, so it's still 1-0. The penalty trouble starts with Utah in this second period. They go on the PK. Like I said, there was a nice shot from Makar that Vejmelka makes a glove save on, but there was no threatening chances, so it was a good kill by Utah. And then after that penalty kill, Tanev really in tight off a great rebound shot from Peterka. Tanev was right there, and Wedgwood makes both saves on Peterka, the initial shot, and then Tanev on the rebound. Another penalty, but it's another great kill, and it's almost a halfway point of the game, the second period, and Utah's got to get it going. They had that great chance, but they kept getting stuck in these penalty killing minutes, but they were killing them off. After that second penalty they killed, the Avalanche had pretty much the pressure and momentum nearing the end of the second, but something switched where Utah started to gain control late in the second period, and it went in the third period. It started with a breakaway by Dylan Guenther, who got denied by Wedgwood, and I'm going to say breakaway a lot nearing the end of this video. And then Utah gets rewarded with a power play very late in the second, and they score the first goal of this season for the Mammoth, and it's Dylan Guenther, Breadsticks, back-to-back season opening goals, and this is his patented one-timer right off the draw, literally goes through Wedgwood. Like, this wasn't top corner or a nice open area shot. He literally just shot it straight at the goalie, and it just goes through him. This is such a heavy shot. It's his office right off the face-off, you know, backing up away from the play. It was from distance too. Like, this was just a perfectly executed shot, and it's the first game of the season, and he's already got his shot down pat, that one-timer. Assists go to Keller and Schmaltz. We go into the third period. All Utah fans are feeling high. It's tied 1-1. And then it's an early penalty in the third. Utah goes on the PK, and the Avalanche score to make it 2-1. It's Nathan MacKinnon who walks down sort of from the blue line and picks his shot. That becomes the eventual game winner. But, you know, Utah battled back late in this third period. But before we get there, Utah had 0 shots in the first 5 minutes of this third. And then they get a power play. You think this is their time to score, but they fail at it. And then there's a couple chances by Utah. There's a nice backhand spinorama shot in the slot by Cooley, but that's saved by Wedgwood. There's one more penalty they got to kill off in the third before they turn on the Jets. And on that penalty kill, there's a Dylan Guenther, another sort of breakaway. He streaks in one-on-one, beats the defender, but he's denied by Wedgwood, and then McBain gets a breakaway, he's denied, and then Krause gets a breakaway, and he's saved by Wedgwood. Wedgwood stole 2 points from the Utah Mammoth. Like, they had 32 shots in this game, a lot of great high danger chances. They created a lot of chances. This sounds like deja vu, because last season they would create chances, but they just couldn't execute, couldn't score. And again, it happens tonight where they only get 1 goal, whereas they probably should have had 3 or 4 goals. They outshot the Avalanche 11-10 in the third, but ultimately they lose the game 2-1. They still didn't score with their goalie pulled. I believe it was like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. They didn't score all last season with Vejmelka or Ingram or whoever with their goalie pulled. They still haven't scored in Utah franchise history. Total shots 32-26 in favor of the Mammoth. You love that they outshot the Avalanche. You love that they limited the Avalanche to only 26 shots. We're talking about an elite group of forwards with Makar. Like, the Avalanche were fully healthy up front. I'm not sure what's going on with their starter goalie. Blackwood, power plays, Utah was 1 for 3. PK, they were 3 for 4. Just try to get out of the box, be more disciplined. And the face-offs, atrocious, 32%. You got to fix that as well. Hopefully with Hayden, once he gets healthy, hopefully for next game. The expected goals for share percentage, Utah had 55%, so you always want to be on the better side of 50. So to be at 55 is great. Possession analytics, that was 5-on-5 expected goals. And possession metrics, 5-on-5, they had 56% of possession. So they outpossessed, they out-expected goaled the Avalanche 5-on-5. They had dangerous chances. They just really couldn't get it past Wedgwood. I liked their game. I thought it was a mature game. I thought it was defensively sound. They kind of just, even though the Avalanche at times had possession in their own zone, there was nothing very threatening. I thought Vejmelka had a great game, really quenched my anxiety of goaltending. He's already like in mid-season form. There's just so much good to build on. They just got to keep doing what they did. There's really not much, there's no bad habits to get out of their game. The young guns line maybe hemmed in their zone a little bit. I'm sure Turney will talk to them, but other than just being more disciplined, I thought it was a great game to build off as their first game of the season. Nothing really to fix, just more you got to build on it. And Simishev played 14 and a half minutes, and as a 20-year-old defenseman, not really hearing his name or not being totally noticeable is just great. The less you hear of a rookie 20-year-old defenseman's name in an NHL play-by-play, the better. That means he's not making mistakes. He's not doing anything out of the norm. It's like Marino. You rarely hear Marino's name, but he does great things, just little details, great positioning, breaking up plays. Like, you rarely hear Marino's name. That's exactly what Simishev did. Just a very mature game by Simishev. Didn't get lost in the moment. Didn't look like a 20-year-old kid out there on the blue line. So great first game for him as well. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.